Hey, what's up y'all, it's Vasant here with my visual artifact presentation. Today I will be covering the rough details of the in-class reenactment of the trial of Galileo, and hopefully have some fun too. So what was this reenactment? As you all know, we participated in a reenactment of the trial of Galileo, sort of accurate to history, as much as it could be, in an attempt to recreate the environment of the time period to help further understand the nature of the decisions made and why things may have happened the way they did. We had a couple of different factions, all with relatively similar or different goals in mind, with common interest and whatnot, allowing a rough representation of the historical parties. Setting the scene for an epic battle that could have gone down in history books if it took place 400 years ago. While it may seem mundane, if not almost absurd in nature, the trial of Galileo marked a major turning point in history, a bloody battle between religion and science. Religion had held strong until a century prior, when the Revelation began, sowing the seeds for an uprising against the tradition of faith, which culminated in the Enlightenment, where science, logic, and reason overtook the role that religion had held for many millennia prior. Well, in both history and the game, Galileo was firmly put down for teaching and defending his findings, and for preaching it from the rooftops at every damned moment that he could. This guy cannot chill LMAO. The church believed in a single interpretation of holy text, and the ideas that Galileo was nurturing were very dangerous to the power of faith over people. As such, Galileo posed a major risk and the church could not tolerate any risk. Galileo was put on trial twice, with the first time, in game, resulting in the earth being declared to not move, the heavens being fixed and unchanging, and a split decision between the universe being bound by a sphere of stars, and the universe being either infinitely large or the stars being absurdly far away. In addition, Copernicanism was declared to not be heretical, under the condition that it remained a hypothesis and nothing more. And Galileo was allowed to continue publishing his works and findings under the condition of being allowed to publish solely in Latin. Poor, sweaty, Galileo. Galileo was put on trial again in 1632, this time for violating Pope Paul V's 1616 edict to refrain from teaching and defending Copernicanism. Galileo was found guilty of heresy, and was sentenced to a home imprisonment for the remainder of his life, which ended around a decade after the sentence was passed. Now for some things that I thought were mildly amusing. The conservative faction really wanted to kill Galileo, and I think the CIA themselves could be inspired by some of their suggested methods. Also, how convenient was it that Prince Chessy was snatched away from the Lincian faction? By the way, this was the best faction. No doubt about it, just to be miraculously reincarnated into the life of an individual with entirely opposing views as Chessy himself. The church would call that an act of God, but Galileo would call it science. Or bullshit. Also, this entire thing literally started because Aristotle was like, ha ha ha, circle, I love circles. Circle! Anyways, that's about it for this presentation. I had a blast working with all of you this semester, and I can't wait to see what you all get up to in the future. Merry Christmas, ya filthy animals. Man, I love circles, aren't they so cool? They're so round and perfect and everything good and nice in the world. Circle!